What's going on, guys? Every once in a while I like to show you guys sort of behind the scenes of what I do. In the past I made about an hour-long video of me just editing in Final Cut. Go ahead and watch that video by clicking the annotation you see right now. That was just me editing, basically. I just imported some footage of me making a PB&J, pretty much made just specifically for that video. But I actually ended up putting it on YouTube, which was sort of interesting. But back to the point of this video, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here. Like I said in the beginning, this is just going to be sort of a behind-the-scenes sort of idea of how I edit in Final Cut Pro 10. If you guys don't know by now, if you haven't watched my unboxing video or anything, I have got a new camera here. I got it for Christmas. It's a Canon Vixia M400. Very, very nice camera. I really love it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Final Cut here, and I'm going to show you guys some clips I got with it. I'm going to sort of mash them together and make a montage, which will be on my YouTube channel in the coming days, so just look out for that. But as you can see here, I've already created the event and imported some of the footage, not all of it. But as you can see here, this is what I have. This was shot just in my room at my desk with an iPhone, a keyboard, some stuff like that. But I'm going to go ahead and take some footage I got off the camera today. So I'm going to hit Command I. And real quick before I go any further, this is also nice if you've never used Final Cut Pro 10 before. A lot of people have just got the program, they don't really know how to use it, and so this is sort of just like, a nice way to show people. It's sort of like a tutorial within just a fun video. So this video probably will end up being pretty long, so hopefully I won't bore you guys too much, but let's just go ahead and continue on here. So I have some footage, as you can see here. I'll probably end up just doing most of these. My dogs. So let's go ahead and import these. And when I import stuff, I don't create optimized media just to save hard drive space. I could take some rendering; it's not that big of a deal. So import, and now they'll put those right in my timeline. And so you really should, I guess, wait for these to import, but you can sort of work while they're importing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take, for example, this one. And I'll drop it in my timeline. Or you could simply do that by hitting E. It puts at the end. And real quick, I'm going to cut this video off sort of early because it does show my license plate. And I completely forgot, so I don't want you guys to see my license plate. So I'll probably just cut the video off like right here, just to save my own butt here. I don't want it to be stopped. But as you guys can see, all my stuff is now imported, all my clips. Most of the stuff is just, dead space, waiting for it to focus, trying to find stuff to record. So I won't include a lot of this, but getting back to the beginning here, obviously here's my intro. I should probably move this out of the way. Alright, so there's the video, or my intro rather. So we'll go ahead and scrub through this and find a spot. So as you can see, here's my hat. Just kind of cut it right there, and I'll add a cross dissolve. Now I'm gonna get a little message here saying there's not enough clip media. In the preferences, you can apply transitions using available media or a full overlap. I don't really like full overlap. I usually go with available media. So since this is the end of the clip, there's no more media it could take from this. It will give you that error, but it doesn't really matter. You just hit OK, and it gets you something that looks like that. It works fine for me. So we'll just go ahead and sort of watch this here. I'm still amazed at the focus of this camera. Alright, so right there, we'll cut it. Turn snapping on by hitting N. Snap right to the playhead there. So we'll continue to scrub through. And here's a chip. Add a cross dissolve between that as well. Tostitos are very good chips. Kind of makes me want some. Alright, that's fine. Move over to the magic mouse here. This video is going to be fairly easy to edit. Just going to be dropping in a bunch of cross dissolves. I'll probably vary up the transitions a little, but you guys will get the idea. A little out of focus. Okay, and now moving on to the keyboard here. Let's see here. Yeah, I only messed up that once. It was too shaky coming in, so I backed back out. Okay. nice focus. Okay, so right about there, we'll cut it. Now here's a yo-yo. Sort of have it blurred up when I come into the shot. Clears up very nice and very fast too. Alright, kind of zoom in on that string there. I believe, yeah, I do it again up here. That's what I really love about Final Cut 10. You can look at your timeline and see what's coming up next. Do another cross dissolve. Oh yes, and very quick. I'm going to go ahead and hit Shift Z so I can zoom out and see every single thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command A to highlight everything. Drag the playhead at the beginning, zoom in by hitting Command plus, and I'm going to deselect this transition and my intro, and I'm going to come up here to audio and move this all the way to 0, or not 0, but all the way down as far as it can go, because I don't want any of this to have audio, because at the end I'm going to just layer on some of my own music, and in this, you know, there's just some noises I make, like, you know, human functions like breathing or talking to somebody, so I don't want those to be heard, so I'm going to mute everything except my intro music. So that plays, but all these are still silent. So I'm going to just continue on here. Alright, there's a string. I'll just stop right around there. So as you can see here, I just set the camera down. Then I shifted my keyboard here. Scroll over. Till about there. Alright, now we have to get a different transition in here because I'm not really digging the cross dissolve anymore. We'll try bloom. That's not too bad. I'll keep that. And I'll point out that when I'm editing, there's no real like logic way I do my transitions. I kind of do whatever floats my boat. Whatever looks decent, I'll just keep. I'm not a professional editor by any means. You know, transitions don't have to mean something. Going from clip to clip, if they look cool, then it works. That's how I edit, because I'm just doing this for YouTube. It's not a movie that people are going to pay money for. Alright, as you can see, I go down here. Obviously, that I knew when filming that wasn't going to be in the video, but just things that you kind of think about editing when you're filming something, so it could always help to think about editing while you're filming. Okay, yeah, see, all this is just garbage. This was just me in between trying to set things up. Okay, there's my iPhone there, still setting up. Okay. Alright, here's where I wanted to start. So we'll go back. Thanks to the magnetic timeline, it'll snap back right to here. Beautiful. And we'll add a center. Kind of a outwards motion. Even that was a little early. Okay, so we'll just keep playing. There we go. Now this is probably the craziest focus job so far. Now keep in mind here, right here, my camera is literally sitting on my iPhone. It's like just like a cup of water on a table. Like they are touching each other. That lens is like within centimeters, millimeters of the iPhone screen, and it's still perfectly focused. I mean, you could like literally see pixels here. It's an insane focus job. I couldn't believe it when I did this. Alright, so I just kind of let it sit here because I was probably on the verge of having a heart attack from the focus. So right there, it just kind of stands still for a second. So I'll just show me moving it right here. And you can see when I back out, you can see how fast that camera focuses right back. It does a great job. I love this camera, to put it simply. So I'll cut it right about there. And here I flip my iPhone over. Probably right about there. And we'll add, let's see, what should we do here? Yeah, we'll try black hole. Why not? That works. Gosh, this camera makes the iPhone just look even better than it already does. I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. Very nice piece of hardware, especially when focused properly. Okay, so right about there we'll cut it. And now we're going to go out my window here. You can see this is behind a screen. You can see the actual screen right there. So now we're going to go ahead and just jump to this. It's my neighbor's bushes. Kind of being a creeper here. But it had to be done. Alright, so we'll just sort of skim through this. Just me focusing on stuff like the basketball hoop, this really old rickety truck. I'm not sure if I'm going to include this one or not. Just my dogs being let outside. Yeah, I'm not going to include that. I'll just include them coming in from outside. Yeah, we'll bring back the cross dissolve. We'll keep it real. That's not me in the background, by the way. Alright, that's about all I want. That's going to be a pretty short clip. So, bring in the blade tool, cut it right about in there, when she loses interest in the camera. And here's my dog. Told her to shake, and she just kind of sat there for a second. Tried once, tried twice, finally did it, being lazy today. So yeah, I'll let that clip go as it stands. And I'll go right about there. Yeah, I'll wait till she actually does shake. So about there. And I'll add cross dissolves between these. So we'll get something that looks a little bit like this. Actually, that's way too short. I'll just take that whole thing out. And we'll just have where she shakes. Okay. Yeah, this sort of blurs out. So, and here I'm just getting into position. I actually got under the table. It got like a shot of her face. Now this absolutely blew me away too. I mean, you could see her nose like breathing perfectly. Look at that. It's disgustingly close. So we'll bring in, I did this a few times to try to move the camera around, do some different things with it. So you can see I sort of cue myself here when I should. See, that's another thing, like when you're editing, this is another example that I'll do this to let myself know that this is another take. So the camera starts moving about there. So all this stuff is just the same thing over and over again, really. So there's really no need to include that more than once. So we'll add another, actually we'll do a clock here, why not? Actually no, since it's two dog shots, I'll just have a cross dissolve, nothing too fancy. By the way, this dog's name is Spook, the other one's Boo Boo. Once again, you can see the nose, it's absolutely crazy. You see every hair on that dog's face. Nice close-up of the eye. And she decided to move, so that'll be it for that. Now here we'll add like we'll add the clock. So hopefully this isn't too boring for you guys. This is a fairly simple edit. But all my other edits for my YouTube channel pretty much go this way. I mean, it's just sort of a trial and error with different takes and stuff. It's really nothing too complicated. And the program can be intimidating at first, but it's really nothing too bad. Just sort of get your hands dirty, get in there, and it's really not that bad once you get down to it. So here I have a wreath. And we'll cut that off there, because here I try to focus on this. Takes it a second. It's actually still not quite focused all the way. It's close. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll include that. Another little cross dissolve here. Alright, that's enough of the wreath. See, stuff like this, I'm just, walking around and looking for stuff. So about right there. Do a checker. Good old checkers. That lighting drastically changed. But not much you can do. I mean, I could try to color correct this, but I really don't think it's worth it. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll give it a shot. Why not? I'm really not good at color grading, so we'll see where this takes us. Maybe exposure. No good. I mean, I could bring that up a little bit. Doesn't really do too much. That's better. You know what? That's good enough. I mean, I really wasn't going to do that at all anyway. I could take my time, do a lot better, but I just don't really think it's worth it just for... I mean, if the whole video was like that, it'd be one thing, but just for one little clip, not really worth it. Alright, and there's the bush. Awesomely exciting. Okay, here's the car. My mother's car, by the way. I want to try to get a close-up of the raindrops here. Alright, that was a different take. Because I always try to have my camera moving into a shot rather than just being nothing and then going. So I'll always take if I mess up, I'll take a step back and then redo that step. As you can see here, it gets very close to that water. I just thought that was pretty cool. Alright, so now we'll do a cube into the tree there. Now I believe I messed up here. Actually, no, I don't think I did. But I'll start focused in. Very shaky. I don't like that. I don't like all that shake I had. So I'll start it here where I calm down. Nice little 16th note, or a set, or a pair of 16th notes, really. Alright, a little zoom in on the tree there. Alright, so all that stuff right here, me walking up, not intended for you guys to see, obviously, so edit that out. This took me a few tries to focus on, I remember that. Took all that time to try to focus on that and get my movements right. Not sure why it took. I think all the lights in the back were throwing the camera off. But this actually looked pretty nice, so I decided to keep this. Alright, and that's pretty much the end of the video. So now, at the end of all my videos, I bring this bad boy in. I just made this in motion, very easy. Just very simple, and the letters bounce around. But now I'm going to hit Command Shift I, and that'll bring in my import menu. So as you can see on my hard drive, I have my content, and raw video content is where I store the raw files. YouTube is a list of my videos. So I'll go ahead and I'll do Pure Gear application. I always just kind of pick these at random. There's really no order. I usually will include my latest video and then just 2 random ones. So we'll do my camera unboxing, and we'll do, since this is a Final Cut video, we'll do a read time tutorial. Alright, so while those are imported, I'm going to zoom into this up here. So this is a lot easier to work with. Alright, so here's the application. We'll set an endpoint by hitting I. We'll come down here. We'll do 10 seconds. Hit O for outpoint, and then hit E. That'll put it at the very end of my timeline. That has 1 frame off. Alright, I'll do that all at the end. Alright, now moving down here, my camera unboxing. We'll just set a random endpoint there. So we'll do 9 frames and 29, or 9 seconds and 29 frames. Same thing, hit create the out point, and then hit E to put it in the timeline. As you can see, both ends line up perfectly. Alright, and the read time tutorial. We'll get the skateboard jump here. Hit I. And this is a screen capture, so I believe this is, you would just import that as 10 seconds. It's really weird. It depends the way you film your stuff. So that one was 929 as well. So as you can see here, I'll have to include my audio clip I always put in here. Messing about. Just created this in GarageBand. Threw a bunch of loops together, not very hard to make. So now I'll put the playhead anywhere in the middle here. I'll hit that. That's the transform tool. And so now you just simply move them around, drag them about. Nothing too complex. So this is my latest video. I'll have that be the biggest one here. So drag these sizes down a little. Throw them over here. That's good enough for now. Too big. This one could stand to be a little bigger. Alright, that looks good enough. I mean, I don't really strive for absolute perfection. So now I'm going to make these a compound clip so I can adjust the fade and fade out all at once. But first what I'm going to do, I'm going to deselect this, go to audio, and drag it all the way down. So none of these videos make noise, it's just the music. So now I'm going to reselect that and hit Option G. That'll make that a compound clip. Now I can hit Control V to bring up the video animation menu here. And I'll drag the opacity, the fade in till about, I usually do around 20 frames, anywhere from 15 to 25. I just kind of pick a number. Once again, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to just YouTube videos. I'll do the audio the same way. And somewhere around here, I never edited the end of this off. I'll just cut it off right about there. So as I was saying, somewhere around here, I'll usually do the same thing, do a Control V, and I'll just add the fade out. And there you go. Now over here I have 2 audio clips that I'll be using for the audio throughout the rest of the video. So I'll go ahead and just import those simply by dragging. Get that off my screen. Now these are just royalty-free tracks. I just googled royalty-free piano music. Those came up. Nothing too hard to find. So this video is about 4 minutes. I hope I have enough clips here for 4 minutes of audio. Obviously I'm going to do a fade in there. It's going to be cutting it pretty close. I think I'll have almost enough, but not quite. So I'll line those up just right. Move that back a little bit. Yeah, so I'll fine-tune that a little more by zooming in till about there, then lining them up, and I'll fade out. That could even stand to be a little closer. Alright, that works for me. So as you can see, we do not have enough. It's very close. So I'll just simply add the beginning of this again. I'm not going to go crazy over it. So we'll zoom in here. Alright, we'll drag this right up until there, have it fade out. Actually, what I need to do is cut this and then drag it out appropriately. Of course, with my fade ins and outs. This is sort of a lazy way to do it, but I'm over it. Alright, and I really think that's about it. There's the beginning of the video. I mean, if you really wanted to make this look nicer, you could highlight everything from here all the way over till there. You hit Option G just to give one timeline, make that whole thing a compound clip, and that audio will never go anywhere. However, I'm just going to leave it the way it was. Alright, and this video is done, so I'm going to come up here, share. I do use Compressor to export all my videos. It saves a ton of file space, especially when working with 1080p. So Compressor is up over here on my other display. I can drag it over here though. Hopefully this won't take too long, but I mean, if you're watching by now, then you're probably pretty bored anyway, so you can, I guess, just bear with me for a second as I drag everything over. Alright, so as you can see, I've created a custom setting, 1920 by 1080. It's just high definition, very nice. H.264 codec, that right there is what saves hundreds and hundreds of megabytes, potentially gigabytes. And so you just simply drag that to the clip. Always takes it a second. Destinations, custom, video, my content, right in that YouTube folder that you saw earlier. Camcorder test montage, which is exactly what I'll name it. And submit. And as you can see, it unfolds here. And with Compressor, I will say that this timer that will come up here is very inaccurate. And as you can see up here, I'm using Toast to encode a video, and Final Cut is rendering. That's also taking up a lot of CPU. I'll just go to once you do submit it, you don't need Final Cut anymore, so you can close it if your system needs resources. But like I said, I am encoding rather a video file with Toast to burn to a DVD, so that's eating up some CPU. But as you can see, this Pro MS renderer, that's Compressor, that's still taking up well over half of my computer, so it is doing a very nice job. It's cranking everything out. But that's pretty much it for this video. After this, all I'm going to do is type out my video information, such as the description and my copyright info. And from there, I just simply upload to YouTube and post a link to Twitter when it's done. So this has been a relatively quick video. About 32 minutes, about 20 minutes less than my last video, but this was a much easier video to edit. So if you just got into the Final Cut Pro 10 world, if you just downloaded the app, this was sort of a beginner's tutorial or like a walkthrough, getting to know the application. I hope that helped you guys, or if it if you know what you're doing or you're not interested, you just had something to do for the last half an hour. So there you guys have it. That's sort of just a behind the scenes look at how I do my post production, after recording. The same thing goes for all my other YouTube videos. Usually it's sort of harder edit. I mean, it can be when I have different camera angles. Say I'm recording something with my iPhone and the camera, or if, in some cases I have a screen flow with a camera in it. So things like that. It can get a little more complicated, but really it's nothing that bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this video quits. At CPU Kid on Twitter if you have any questions. Like I said, I hope this video helped you or just gave you something to do. So before I ramble anymore, thanks for watching.